1975, I contemplated writing about Dutch neo-Hegelianism. This movement emerged during the early 20th century Hegel Renaissance. In the Netherlands, thinkers included G.J.P.J. Bolland, Hessing, and Willem Frederik Staargaard. In Italy, figures like Benedetto Croce and Giovanni Gentile played pivotal roles. Gentile's fascist ties are well known. He served in Mussolini's government and was executed by partisans in 1944. His philosophy, however, deserves deeper examination alongside Staargaard. Both Gentile and Staargaard operated in the same Hegelian climate. They were influenced by the revival of Hegelian thought, which emphasized spirit, freedom, and understanding modern society. But they took vastly different paths. Staargaard was an engineer, not a professional philosopher. Born in 1880 in Surabaya, he worked in the Dutch East Indies and wrote philosophy as a side interest. His notable works include Wat is logisch and Fascisme en Marxisme. His aim was to understand the world rather than solve academic puzzles. He passed away in Amsterdam in 1940. His philosophical foundation stemmed from G.J.P.J. Bolland. Bolland viewed Hegel as a thinker of logical revelation. For him, history and culture expressed a singular unfolding reason. Staargaard inherited this worldview, seeing Eastern and Western religions as a cohesive whole. In his analysis of Fascism and Marxism, Staargaard believed both fell short of a true idea of the state. He critiqued them for being too narrow and not grounded in historical reason. However, it's essential to recognize the flaws in romanticizing this tradition as a faithful continuation of Hegel. Bolland's interpretation was already radical. His pan-logic diluted the concrete world into pure thought, making him appear more as a mystical monist than a historian. Staargaard adopted a milder version of this radicalization. He did not keep Hegel intact, but bent him, as Gentile did, albeit in different ways. While Gentile entered the same Hegelian landscape, he focused more on the subject than on the absolute. In La Riforma della Dialettica Hegeliana, he criticized Hegel for prioritizing finished thought over the act of thinking itself. He argued that reality exists only as it is being thought, collapsing the distinction between individual and state. Gentile's alignment with fascism was not mere theory. As Mussolini's Minister of Education, he reformed Italy's education system to reflect his idealist principles. His Manifesto degli Intellettuali Fascisti positioned fascism as the realization of his metaphysical ideas, subjugating dissent. Both philosophers read Hegel with intensity and sought a modern state's foundation, yet their conclusions diverged. Staargaard criticized fascism based on an independent state idea. Gentile, however, provided a metaphysical justification for fascism. In summary, Staargaard epitomizes a moderate approach, while Gentile represents a radical shift. The Dutch neo-Hegelianism of Staargaard never influenced state power. In contrast, Gentile's philosophy shaped the official ideology of a totalitarian regime and ended in violence. The structural connection between Gentile and Staargaard reveals the varying interpretations of Hegel's work. They both drew from the same well but built vastly different worlds. Their stories illustrate the potential and peril of Hegel's revival in a Europe seeking new orders.